Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in a little bit of a cold California, broadcasting at 5:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am broadcasting because of Duck Vong, who challenged us all to start on January 1st, 2021. Well, I started January 2nd, 2021, and I have been doing this for 1,415 days consecutively with no breaks. So, here we are with a book called Be Heard by Millions and Live Your Destiny by Anjel B. Hartwell, a creative age leader's guide to speak, sell, serve, and succeed. So here we go. We're on page 64. This book requires you to answer a few questions about your own goals and specifics, to specify the things you want to do, the people you want to help, the people that would help you. Let's talk about money. First, this is the subtitle to the area I am reading. I see a little bit of a somebody. Good morning, good day, everybody. Good morning, John Clark in the East Coast. Good morning, Nilis Cantara, also on the East Coast. Good morning, Diane Dogmom, Veronica Salinas, Martha Theory, Nancy Saunders, Tom Krebs. Tom Krebs! Yay! He's in, I think, the third time zone, too. So, anyway, let's talk about money. By Anjel B. Hartwell. I'm reading from her book. The more money you make, the more people you can serve. The more money you make, the more you can create that will be of benefit to the people you're serving. The more money you make, the more you can spread your message around the world. The more money you make, the more people you can serve by calling them forth to serve your vision. So, when I make money, I'm not just making money for me. I'm also making money for my team members. I'm making money that will be diverted into creating more products and services. I'm making money that will be invested in updating my skills, learning from more advanced mentors, and acquiring tools and technologies to make my business more efficient. When I make more money, I'm able to expend more money and redistribute money in ways that benefit a lot of other people. There's a lot that goes into the back end of running one of these online businesses, and it requires money. Get clear on that fact. Learn from my mistakes. Be heard by millions and live your destiny. Learn from my mistakes. Here are 3 big mistakes that I made as I evolved my messenger business. These will be helpful for you to recognize so that you can stop them in their tracks. Mistake number 1. The fear that made me not clear on my message to the market. One of my challenges was allowing myself to claim my expertise and show up in the marketplace as a leader and in an entrepreneur. There was a lot of pressure at one point to just show up as a healer. Then there was a lot of pressure to stop showing up as a healer and start showing up more as a traditional entrepreneur. Excuse me. I was afraid that if I chose a specific niche, I wouldn't make much money. I was afraid that if I came out powerfully as a healer, that I'd have a lot of backlash from people who didn't particularly like that aspect of who I am. I was afraid that if I came out too strongly as an entrepreneur, that people who were in the healing community would think that I was capitalistic and materialistic. Eventually, I came into right relationship with myself and cleared my fear of standing on my own in my own power and bringing all of my gifts to the table. Mistake number 2. As I evolved my messenger business, I underpromoted myself and overpromoted others. I did this when I had my Sticks and Bricks art gallery and healing arts center too. I spread myself thin and forgot to take care of me. Everybody else was making money or building clientele, and I wasn't. I made the same mistake with my online business a few times, jumping in to support other people with the launch of their programs. It's important to value yourself appropriately and regularly ask for money. You need to strike a balance between how much you promote yourself and others. This was also a disservice to my community. People came into my community because they were interested in me and what I had to offer. Instead, they received more promotions about other people's work. Because I was afraid to promote myself and ask my people for money, they spent their money elsewhere, and while I gave free advertising to all of my colleagues. I find that many people who are stepping into this role of messenger just don't know how to value themselves and their work appropriately. They are afraid to ask for what they're worth. I see so many messengers pouring a lot of energy into creating something great that then languishes. You can create a terrific message, but if your books are in a box under your bed or in the basement, they're hardly serving the world. It's only through claiming your value and asking for money that you're actually serving. I feel that the asking for money conversation is a sacred act. It's an opportunity for you to open a space for somebody to be served with the solution you offer. If you don't ask for money, you're actually not serving them. Mistake number 3. Um, uh, this may not be so much a mistake as just a statement of fact. I didn't know what I didn't know. One of the reasons you picked up this book is that you've chosen to educate yourself. You recognize that there's something you don't know that I might be able to provide. One of the things I didn't know that I didn't know was how to nurture my new people on my list. There are 2 ways that people join my community. They either go to my gifts page or my main website. I have 2 different freebies set up, but I only sent one email that said, "Hey, here's your freebie," and that would be it. Then they would be dumped in my general list and would start getting all kinds of information that was being generated on a regular basis, like, "I'm going to be on this telesummit. Here's the e-zine. One of my colleagues has a book about to come out," etc. I discovered there's a better way of doing it. I've now been online for over a decade, and I was halfway through that decade before that I learned I was halfway through that decade before that I learned about something called indoctrination. This can be done in a number of ways, and one very powerful way is the 21-day nurture sequence. That is a sequence of emails that you present to new people when they join your list. The emails are very specific. It welcomes the recipient gently and sweetly into the community. It helps to make sure your new people are on board and reminds them to download their freebie. It gives them another little extra resource that they weren't expecting and lets them know they're going to be receiving the e-zine if you are doing one of those, or that they will be getting other regular emails from you. The nurture sequence eases people to the community instead of dumping them right into the general list. You also want to incorporate some kind of a paid offer into this process, whether it's offering a book, a training course, or an opportunity to consult with you to see if it's a fit to work together at a higher level of investment. Train these people right away to expect regular and consistent offers of service from you and your company. Train them to be buyers. You can even be very specifically repellent if you have that kind of vibe, and invite people to leave your list if they aren't taking you up on the opportunities you are presenting to them. This is about creating a community of buying customers and clients, not just about having a big fat number of people who are freebie seeking tire kickers who don't really want to invest and only want something for nothing. If there is any section in this book that's worth $1 million or more, it's this section right here. What I'm telling you is that you not only have the right to ask for money, you have the responsibility to do so in order to sustain yourself and your business. Not asking for money early and often will cause you to break down and burn out, and ultimately defeats the entire purpose of sharing your message. You did not come here to be a martyr messenger. You are reading this book because you are called to be an empowered messenger. This is just one case of the many things I didn't know that I didn't know. Your learning curve has just been cut by 5 years, which demonstrates the benefit of investing, working with, and learning from a mentor. She just saved us 5 years. 5 years. That's a lot. That's a gift. That's 5 years. That's a long time. That is crazy good. The art of strategic alliances. A strategic alliance is a person or business that complements your work. Complements your work. But don't say compliment, it's complement in this case. That complements your work but is not a direct competitor with your work. A strategic alliance for me would be somebody who manages the whole back end. You will learn more about readying your back office in the next chapter. I have used social networking mostly to create my strategic alliances. I do that by spending a lot of time on Facebook. I have built many relationships there just by connecting with and seeking out people who are friends of friends, colleagues of colleagues, clients of my mentors, or colleagues of my mentors. I also have created many strategic alliances by attending selected industry events as a student, a sponsor, or a speaker. Social networking is a free and easy tool to use to research the following questions. Who are the other people who are similar to me in what they are delivering, but not exactly the same as me? Well, for myself, my thing, yin yang, morsels of a thought, I have a kinship with those religious virtuous groups that are trying to spread virtue throughout the world. Mine is not religious. Mine does not focus on a higher power. It recognizes one. It's not in conflict with one, but we don't focus on that. We focus on the virtuous aspect of what we are doing. We focus on the right things to do for wisdom, and we try to know facts that are wisdom rather than simply information. That's how I try to inspire you to have a great day. So my answer to this particular question would be those religious types of groups that also other groups that try to spread virtuous messages that aren't religious. So those are the complements. Similar to me, I mean. Who might have a similar market to mine? Well, the same people. Who might have a market that would benefit from my work? We all do. We all do. Who might benefit my market with their work? And for me, it's authors with knowledge of wisdom, the right things to do. So authors such as Anjel B. Hartwell, and all the others that I read in the week. Be heard by millions and use your destiny. Live your destiny, sorry. Start to create a network of your own of potential strategic alliances by going to my Facebook page. Look at my fans and friends, especially the friends who have many mutual friends with me. I have friends on Facebook with whom I share more than 1,000 mutual friends. Those people are probably the ones who are most in alignment with me and my work. When you go on social media, start by looking at friends of friends. It's a great way to do research. Don't just jump in and say, hey, Angel told me to be friends with you. Learn a bit about the person first. Make sure the person is the right kind of fit for your work. Then do them a favor first by sharing some of their posts. Now, on Facebook, there are many people who are just using a profile as a mask to hide things, and they have only about 4 pictures, and that's the end of their entire page. Don't use them. Those are fake people. They are people who have a sort of illicit mission in mind, such as a dating profile while they're married, or things that are terrible like that. So, or scam artists that are trying to say, use a white man's name, which they misspell, and then they turn out to be from a country like Indonesia. It actually happened to me. So I'm saying, I am actually naming the characteristic of the person they tried to impersonate, and I am also naming the country from which I was being scammed. So those are only one example. Okay. I also have an example of somebody from somewhere in the heartland of the USA charging something to my credit card. This has happened multiple times. So when you see a Facebook profile that, I'm just saying, that's a pitfall. So make sure it's a real person by looking at their entire page. Go down and see that they are actually consistently and looking like they really joined Facebook the time they say, and not simply joined in 1990, 2001, and then they have 4 or 5 photos and that's it, and they look like they're a military person dressed in garb and all that. So these are impersonators. Okay, so then do them a favor first by sharing some of their posts. That would be that they have good, useful posts. Okay, back to Angel. When I first got online, I did a lot of promoting of other people. As I said, I went too far with it, but it's still a good thing to do as long as you don't under promote yourself in the process. When you find someone you think is fabulous, edify them. I will certainly raise my hand to be edified if you think I'm fabulous. I did a lot of mentor edification and started investing in myself and my own business. Be a cheerleader for other people. Okay. I'm going to read this one more paragraph and then we'll close it for the day, okay? There is a universal law called the law of reciprocity, which demands that people respond in kind when you have done a kindness for them. When you show up as a big supporter of other people, the law of reciprocity will kick in when it's time for you to ask for their support. The law doesn't mean that they can always help you out on your time frame, but I have found that over time, if I decide to ask somebody to help me after I have helped them in the past, they will remember me and help me if they can. Of course, if they say they can't, when you ask, circle back in 6 months and then ask again. When you create strategic alliances, establish your own criteria first. That means you need to be clear. So here, who are your people? I have answered anybody that wants to concentrate on ways to benefit to benefit society with virtue. My own handwriting. What do they like and want? Oh, their own ideas. Their own ideas. And I see if they align with my virtuous concept. Why are they interested and opted in with you? Because they see the extra reach and benefit in their work. What else might they need from someone else that's a complement to your work. Dated societal messages, such as uh, a thing called choking women during sex. Um, that would be something that we would say is a compliment to our work, because our work says we do not do things that are, we do not take what is not ours, we do not kill. Anyway, exactly how much are you willing, able, and desirous to give? Time, I'd like to give 2 hours a day. Effort, 3 hours a day. Attention, I will give. And I'm still reading. uh, own your calendar and be aware of what your list can tolerate and receive from you and others. Know your limits and be discerning about who you will promote. As you start to build your own roster, you will want to promote yourself, colleagues, events if you're speaking at them, and of course your successful clients. Be mindful that you're balancing promotion with nurturing and giving your list complementary content, teachings, insights, stories of your own journey as well. That's complementary means free. That's why the easing, free calls, or a regular podcast or broadcast can be so valuable, because they're regular, consistent deliveries of content to your list. We'll go to this one. Okay. The third point about the third point about strategic alliances is to expect respect. You want to fulfill your commitment and you expect others to do the same. You want to set and maintain those boundaries and be willing to engage in confronting someone when there is a conflict. There's no hiding, running away, or avoiding. Your livelihood depends on this. Here is a story of a strategic partnership that was an opportunity for me to set boundaries. A woman asked me to participate in a telesummit, and a number of my colleagues were participating who had similar levels of exposure in the marketplace, similar business savvy, and similar levels of success. The woman expected to collect 10,000 to 20,000 names, but she only collected about 1,000 names from the 22 colleagues who promoted the event. I think about 100 of the names came from my list. When I talked to my colleagues, they told me getting 100 names from someone's list is quite a good number. The host decided that she didn't get enough names, so she canceled the whole thing. I promoted to my list, and my colleagues promoted to their lists. She received 1,000 people from our collective lists, and then refused to deliver the summit as promised. I had to take a stand and send her an email that said, "I'm not giving you permission to market to any of the people from my list. Please send me the names of those people so that I can make it up to them for your failure to deliver." It's important for you to understand who you're getting into bed with. I felt that this woman was trustworthy, and it looked like she knew what she was doing. She had attracted a number of my colleagues to her event. So while you may not be able to make an accurate assessment in all cases, be mindful and clear about your boundaries. Then be willing to engage if there's a conflict. You can't run away from it, because your list and your business depends on being clear, having clear boundaries, and being willing to take a stand. So that's what we are reading till, and the next time we come to this, it will be on the art of conscious conversion. Okay? Old Kinder